Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here. Welcome to the Master Rank 14 test guide. This test is basically just like, killing bad guys. Really straightforward. They claim that it's going to be your hardest test yet if you listen to the dialogue of the Lotus, but we're just going to go ahead and show you the sort of fastest way to get this done. I'm going to be using Equinox, which is an AoE damage frame, which will apply slash procs to enemies as they come into contact with your fourth ability. So we just mod for a lot of power range, and then you're able to like basically spawn kill enemies with this build. We're using the Ignis Wraith because the enemies are relatively low level, I would say, if you're using like a decent build which has dual stat elemental mods on. You have your free main damage mod, Suresh, heavy caliber split chamber, and then you have a slot all to yourself, which if you want to forma again, you can go ahead and, throw something different on there. Your secondary weapon doesn't really matter too much unless you're playing a frame like Mesa, which will benefit from having secondary mods on and stuff like that. I'm just sticking with the Twin Gracatas because it's a weapon that I recommend to newer players a lot. Orphos or Orphos Prime, if you're modding for a little bit of range by using Reach or Prime Reach, that's totally cool as well. If you have Maiming Strike, if you happen to pick that up versus the Acolytes, which is an event that comes around annually, I think at this point, it's came twice in a row now, so you can pick this mod up every single year, hopefully. But this basically gives you a flat 90% extra crit chance on slide attack, which is pretty cool, and it allows you to make some devastating builds. But if not, then just go ahead, have on Reach or Prime Reach, and then throw on a bunch of elements, throw on Prime Pressure Point or regular Pressure Point. Have a attack speed mod such as Fury instead of Berserker, and then you should be good to go. So instead of wasting your time, let's go ahead and jump into the Master Rank 14 test. Realistically, you don't need any of that stuff. You just have to understand how damage works, like a basic understanding. So like for rifles, you need Serration, then your elemental mods, maybe heavy caliber in there, split chamber, or your for your secondaries, it'll be Hornet Strike, it'll be Lethal Torrent, it'll be Barrel Diffusion, then your elements, and so on and so forth. But this is a really easy test, so as you can see, the frame that I'm playing actually covers the entire map in terms of like just killing the enemies and making them bleed to death. So pretty straightforward. Just as they spawn in, they kind of drop dead. Then we have the Ignis here to just burn the enemies that actually last, and then this goes in waves. So just having a good amount of efficiency and duration on this frame will make it so that the drain isn't that much. And even at that, like if you're Master Rank 14, I would like to think that you've unlocked your focus. And if you haven't started taking a look at your focus yet, I recommend you do so, because focus can actually be like a massive help whenever it comes to keeping your energy up, especially if you're going with Zeneric, or keeping your combo counter up if you're playing with melee weapons, if you're going with an arm on focus tree. So taking a look at focus and learning how to farm focus is definitely something that you want to be invested in, especially at like Master Rank 14 if you're going this deep into the game. So Master Rank 14 is usually whenever people like to quit the game because they feel like they've got everything that they could ever want in the game, which is kind of weird. But if you're willing to go further in the game, then I definitely recommend taking a look at focus, learning a little bit more about it, learning how to farm it efficiently with Equinox, because if you haven't picked up Equinox yet, as you can see, you probably want to pick her up because she can deal some crazy damage if you're using her right. So basically how it works is you turn on your fourth ability, and you store up all the damage, and then you can re-release the damage to any enemy that's in the radius of you. So you see how the floor looks like all watery and stuff. If any enemy's standing in that, they're basically in the effective range of your fourth ability, so they get a bleed proc applied to them, and then from that point onwards, any damage you deal will be stored, and then you can re-release that damage to sort of just kill any enemy that is in the effective range. So pretty powerful ability. You can combo that with her third ability, which gives you more power strength, so you can deal even more damage, and obviously like other buffer frames like Rhino or whatever will allow you to deal more damage and stuff if you're playing in a co-op environment. So yeah, that should be the Master Rank test done. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Equinox makes it super easy. Same with the Ignis, same with the Orphos, same with the Gracatas. It's just all down to your modding. Wasn't a difficult test, not at all in my opinion, but the Lotus says that it's one of the most difficult tests yet. So I can't really argue with her there, but just gotta do what you gotta do, Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta see gluten-free chips in my clan chat there, cursing and saying, you hit the Master Rank challenges, man. Well, that's why I'm making these guides. That's why I'm making guides for them. Smiley face. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit like. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.